Let me help you. Is that better? Okay. Hey, Bless Your Vintage, what's up? I'm doing a quick tutorial because I'm sewing and everyone's been asking about making this bag. So I'm going to do a quick tutorial on this Sunday night. How is everybody? You don't have to show me. We can show the thread.
Okay.
Because I'm not cute. I'm in my, it's Sunday night and I don't care clothes and hair. And I'm untangling some thread. Basket, what's up? So guys, if you want to sew along, so exciting. Deborah, if whoever wants to sew along, if you're just going to watch and take notes, totally cool. But if you want to sew along, you're going to need 2 fat quarters and some binding, some interfacing of some sort, okay? I'm going to use fusible fleece. Oh, you're so welcome. I can see the chat on my phone over here, so I'm going to try to keep up, but Matt is filming for me. So we're going to make a Hemingway. We've been talking about them. We've been showing you them. They're not hard to make, but I'd love to show you guys how to make one. So that's what we're going to do. So what I was doing was just getting out some threads so I could decide what color I want to use. So for starters, what's the foam stuff? I'm making a Hemingway pouch. The foam stuff is called this. No, I just watched a video. This one I did not purchase. The one I purchased is the little backpack thing, and I'm not making that. Not on camera tonight. It will have to be like a 2-hour thing. So the Hemingways, the reason I said I'd come on tonight and do them is because they're super fast, super quick, easy to put together. It requires 2 fat quarters and your choice of interfacing. Does the foam that I use to make bags, like the cosmetic bags and totes, those are made with Pellon, Naked, no tricot foam. You can use fusible, but it costs more, so I don't buy it. Okay, so yeah, no problem. So tonight, what you need if you're going to sew with me tonight is you're going to need 2 fat quarters, your choice of soft or squishy interface. I'm using fusible fleece, so I'm about to iron, but if you want to gather supplies, I will, pause long enough for you to do that because there are lots of steps, but it's not hard. You're also going to need a zipper. I use number 5 zipper, and you're going to need a zipper head. You're only going to use one side of your zipper. I know that sounds crazy, but you're only going to use one side. This is the inside of my bag. It's been folded because it's a fat quarter, so I'm going to give it a quick press because I like to sew on fabric that is nice and crisp, so that because I am going to quilt this, it's important that I have it nice and crisp. Okay. And guys, a good portion of our time is going to be me quilting this bag because that's what takes the longest. But it's yes, I'm doing the diagonal. Yeah, the Hemingway. What I think it's commonly referred to online as the Hemingway pouch. Okay. I don't know if there is a pattern, and I'm not giving credit to the pattern owner. I apologize because I don't know. Anyway, that's all I know. So as you can see, and flex foam, naked foam, no tricot. Yes, that's it. Oh, thank you. That's a Robert Kaufman. No, we sold one of these today. It's a Michael Miller polka dot. So this one right here, as you can see, I've ironed it nice and crisp, just took the lines out so that nothing interferes with our quilt. It probably wouldn't anyway, but, say la vie. I also have my nifty bobbin holder. I got this from TGI Fabrics. They sell these. They are amazing. I have 2 of them, and I literally do not sew without them. My bobbins just sit right down into it. What I'm doing at the moment is pulling my bobbin out and just having a look at my bobbin thread against the inside of my fabric so I know if I need to pick something different. Does that make sense? Hello, Pratt. Welcome in. Matt is filming me, so if it's something you can't see, you got to tell him because, you know, we don't often do filming. So then I'm just going to lay this aside and I'm going to pull over my top fabric. The first thing I want you guys to see before I start ironing is I have a piece of fusible fleece. So my dots or my texture that you can feel is on this side, okay? So I've got it on this side. It's facing my fabric, the wrong side of my fabric. If you can you see the edges, Matt? Okay, so move so you can see the edges. What I want you guys to see is that there is room around all the edges that there is no interfacing. When I first started sewing, I did not think this was a big deal. Like I just, oh, it's no big deal. Just put enough in there. It's fine. Corner to corner, edge to edge. What I have come to understand, especially if you're going to use a fusible product, is if you have a beautiful stainless steel iron, you do not want your iron covered in goo, which is on the back of this, okay? So you want to make sure that you have a little bit of an allowance here. The other thing is when you make bags, if you don't have a little bit of an allowance, this gets really thick right here. And then it, you know, you can sew it on a domestic, but you're going to push your needle. Does that make sense to everybody? Y'all please post questions in the chat because I can see the chat. So this is our outside fabric. How beautiful is that? This is a Free Spirit. It is a Brenda Papadakis. So I have got my fusible fleece with the glue side to the back of my fabric. Can that be seen? Y'all see that? Everybody on board? I'm sure you guys have all fused interfacing. I'm just going to give this a nice smooth. The other thing I'm going to do, because my ironing little iron thing is a little short, so I'm just going to pull it towards me. But I'm going to start in the center of my fabric and place down my iron. And I'm just going to take really even strokes coming out from the center. This is another thing that I used to not do exactly like this. I would see it and see people do it, and then I would think, oh, I don't have to do it that way. Well, as it turns out, it really does make a difference to go from the center out. I cannot speak to like making clothing, but I can tell you making bags, it has been overall better. Now, once I have gone out in every direction, I'm just going to concentrate on each area. Welcome in, Hattie. You did art in Alabama, Matthew. That's weird. Alabama and Matthew. I've got a lot of Matthews in my house, and I'm pretty partial to Alabama. Fusible fleece to me always smells so musty. Like when you fuse it, it has like an old attic smell. Okay, now I'm gonna just pick this up. As you can see, it has fused. I'm gonna move it down so I can catch this top edge really nice. Anybody have any questions so far? So the main thing I will say about fabric, I'm using 2 fat quarters. You can vary the size of this bag to anything you want. The reason I do 2 fat quarters is mostly for economical purposes because I can get usually 3 bags out of this. I don't use the steam on my iron. I have it. I just never really use it. Occasionally, if I'm trying to get something out that's like really difficult and won't come out, yes, but there's not much need. So I have taken my backing or inside liner fabric and I have just sandwiched it down, okay? And all I'm going to do is just give it one hit on the iron just to kind of push all those layers together. And then I'm going to flip it over. So now we have a little quilt sandwich. Anyone who has ever quilted absolutely knows how to make a quilt sandwich, right? Like we've all quilted something. Sorry. You know how those free threads are around brokens? They're like everywhere. So even if I were not using fusible fleece, oh yeah, I would definitely say follow manufacturer. You're right, Elizabeth. That's perfectly, yes. I don't know if fusible fleece says to. I bought this out of an estate sale. Let's be real. I did not buy that from a box retailer or online. But if you have instructions, go for it. This is something I want to say though. Free Spirit fabric, any high-end quilt shop fabric, in my opinion, is much softer. They fray easier than your stiffer cottons. And so my suggestion would be, even if you're not going to put a liner in this and you just want to make this with no inside squishiness at all, you don't want any interface, use a non-woven interfacing on your top and bottom fabrics if you're not going to put a quilt layer in. Because otherwise they're going to fray at the edges. Your seams are not going to hold as well. There's a lot of reasons why. So I've picked this bobbin I'm going to use on the inside. Now I'm going to look at these two purples as my quilt thread. What I typically do, and I got this watching Donna Jordan, who quilts online for Jordan Fabrics, she'll take it out and kind of lay it on the fabric and look at it, the thread, to see, like how pronounced is it? Is it super pronounced? Is it not? Let me get this one undone. So I think personally, I like this lighter one better. I just think it looks nicer. You can kind of come up and over if you want so they can see that. So this is the darker thread on it here, and then this is the lighter. And I'm all about contrast, so I'm going to go with the lighter thread. I just think it's prettier. Hey, Tracy. Hello, Becky. I'm showing how to make a Hemingway. So now that I have my two threads situated, I've made my quilt sandwich. I'll show you the only secret to quilting that I know. I'm an amateur, y'all, at best. I watch a video and I wing it. I do not claim to know everything about quilting. I will tell you that my favorite thing in the world when it comes to quilting is painter's tape. So I'm going to use painter's tape to draw a grid across my fabric. Let me grab a couple clips. 1 second here. Okay. So I'm just going to take a couple clips and I'm going to clip each corner of the fabrics together while I tape it down so that I don't mess up my fabrics that I have lined up. Everybody still with me, or do I need to stop, slow down, or recover? Girl, I'm hooked and I will watch this whole thing because I want to make me one. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm making the Hemingway. Absolutely. Now, like I told them in the beginning, and I'll say this again, I think you can make a Hemingway bag with just about any size as long as one side is shorter than the other. So with a fat quarter, you have an 18 and a 22. You've got to have a difference in the sizes. Now, this could be much smaller. As long as one side is shorter, one side is longer, it'll be fine. And the other thing to note is that if you're using directional fabric, the side you're going to cut, which I'll show you this technique after I get this quilted, but the side that you're going to cut is the long side. So when your bag is done, one way you can do it, because you're just going to pick a point of the corner and a point on the side of your bag, you can fold it like this, right? Okay. Then you can pick it up and fold it over and check to see if the direction of the fabric is going to work or not. Okay. Very simple. So if you're using a directional fabric, make sure you check it, because it will be wrong on one side, but you'd like it to be right on the first, like on the front side. You know what I mean? And I honestly don't really recommend directional because of how this bag is put together. I would say if you have a choice and you don't mind, try not to use a directional fabric, if that makes sense. So back to quilting. The way that I do all the bags that you guys see and love is using painter's tape. I start in one corner. Can they see this corner?
Where you at?
Right here. I start in one corner of my square and I make diagonal lines with my painter's tape moving across my fabric. So I'm going to, this just helps keep me straight. I'm going to orient the corner towards me, right? So that it's pointing at me. And then I'm just going to pull my tape out and go across it, tear it off. And you can make this as close together, as far apart as you want. You don't have to quilt it. You can tack it down. You do not have to do anything to this bag that you don't want to do, but you certainly can get as creative as you want. So I don't know if anybody else has a tip for straight quilting. You can certainly mark it if you want to measure and mark. If you're precise and you want to be precise, you can do that. The precision of the quilt is not that important to me. And I find that I don't use stitches that show my mistakes that much. So I don't worry too much about like how many lines and how far apart. Welcome in, Chrissy. I don't worry too much about that. Now this tape is sticking over and I can just tell you from past experience, it will be a problem. So I'm going to go in here and pull this edge off because it will get in my way. All right. So everybody with me so far? We started in one corner. We made lines, right? Give me a thumbs up or tell me, yeah. You use a walking foot. Well, there you go. See, Basket has another way that works for her, and you may want to use her way. I'm just going to thread my machine while we give you a chance to ask questions. And you can certainly be more precise. Like I said, guys, I am at best an amateur. Like truly, at best, I'm an amateur. I do things a certain way to avoid, like hide mistakes or avoid issues, if that makes sense. And I may not tell you a way that everyone else will. This is just how I do it. Does that make sense? Like, and you can use a ruler, a friction pen. You can draw your lines. If you are looking for perfection, you definitely want to do whatever you think, you know what I mean? Whatever works. So let me load my bobbin just real quick, and then Matt's going to get up and come over to the sewing machine so you guys can see how I do that part. Not that you don't know how to quilt, but maybe somebody doesn't. Who knows? 1 second, guys. I'm just loading my thread. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But I love hearing the different ways because you never know what works for someone else might be the exact thing that's, you know, that somebody needs. Does that make sense? Like, you never know. Okay, so you ready, hun? You have to pull that charger, don't forget. Okay, guys, bear with us. We're learning. And please don't look at my nasty hair.
I'm trying to do.
It's okay. You're good. So when I get to my machine, because like I said, I like to use double fusible flex foam. That would be good too. Yeah. You can use the flex foam. Absolutely. Mom does. She uses it on a lot of them. I just have fusible fleece laying here. So I thought, why not? So I'm picking this stitch on my machine. It's stitch 95 and it's just a wavy line. The reason I'm doing that is because it allows for more mistakes. It also makes a pretty quilt. You could certainly do any stitch you wanted to do. It does take a bit longer to do this stitch, but that's okay. I'm okay with it because it works out for me. Does that make sense? So when I have my tape laid on here, the first thing I do is I center my foot between my tape and the opposite side. So in the center of each section is where I'm going to run my quilt. Okay. So I'm just going to put it in and here in a minute, once I get it down. What is it telling me? Oh, I got to pick the stitch. My bad. Okay. So I'm just going to take it and let it, I don't force it through because you'll mess up your stitch that way. Does that make sense? Like, I just let it go and I twist my fabric to make it work. Guys, when I say I'm not perfect, I so mean I'm not perfect. I do these because it relaxes me. When mine stops, I just grab the end, fix it. See, we've got a nice little wavy line in there, just like that. So we're going to do that between each set of tape. So here's my 2 pieces of tape. I'm going to line up as much in the middle as I can tell they are. And the good thing about that that wavy line is that it's forgiving. If you get a little off, you're not going to be able to tell. So that's why I use that. My table's bouncing like crazy tonight. And I don't have a super fancy machine. I just have a little domestic that I love. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat because I can see chat. So just going to check my stitching and make sure it feels okay. What? Oh, thanks, Mom. Mom has her first day of work tomorrow, so she's like chilling. So I'm just going to raise it up. And I'm not too super concerned about the edges. Oh, my thread's undone. Okay, so I'll fix that later. But I'm not too super concerned about the edges, like going straight to the edge, because that's not an issue. I've got, see my thread? Look, it's undone there. So I have it looping on the underneath. So I've got to pull this out and rethread. Which is the story of like every sewing person's life, right? Like occasionally you have to stop and, you know, rethread your machine or change things. I thought it was doing that a while ago. That's why I was feeling of the stitches. One second, guys. Let me grab my snips. Hello, Brooklyn. Welcome in. We are sewing live, which is only moderately, you know, overwhelming. Okay, anybody have any questions so far? So this is what happens, and I'll have to pull this line out. This is what happens when your thread gets off. Like I'll pull that stitch out later on and redo that stitch, which is not a big deal. So, lining back up. And to be totally honest with you, I could hear it when it did it, and I should have been paying attention. Let me just make sure it's going there. Why am I having so much trouble tonight? Probably just because I'm trying to show something, huh?
All right.
You got to be able to roll with the punches when it comes to sewing, guys. Truly. Because sometimes there's punches. Which you all know, right? But if you're sewing on a machine that you normally sew on, you're going to recognize when there's something not working right. So what is the most recent thing that everyone has sewn lately? It is. It certainly is. Give me just a second, guys. I'm just going to check the underneath here. I got to get a lot over here. I moved my sewing room around. Yeah, that looks good. And so, oh, a table topper. Okay. I think it's just a heavy duty, Margaret. I don't really know. I know how Listen, I know how amateur that sounds. Oh, when I tell y'all, I really do sound like I know what I'm doing. Oh, awesome, Deborah. You're working on a bag. What kind of bag? Wow, hand binding. That's dedication. I hope your aunt is like good to you. Handkerchiefs? Oh, that's awesome. Rug mugs and coaster. I get that. I get that. Totes, seatbelt cushions. That's a novel idea too. And quilts. Listen, I do not make that many quilts. So guys, can you see the difference? How you were seeing my top thread here, but you're not there. So that's the importance of that thread. It's called bird nesting, I think, when it does that. Oh, you made a jumper? Y'all, I wish I made clothes, but I don't. In this corner, I had a clip on it, but it's going to get in my way, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it off because it's pretty stable from these two lines. So as you can see, whoever owned this fat quarter before I did snipped all the corners off. I don't know why she did that, but she did it with all her fabric. So anyway, that's why it looks like that. I didn't snip that corner, but I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that. I'm sorry, babe. So when it gets to this point, like, you really kind of have to, if you're on a domestic, you kind of have to work with it. You know what I mean? Like, kind of got to work with it because there's no way around it. But you don't want to force it through because it will stretch that stitch and it will not look nice. Absolutely not look nice if you stretch out that stitch. Can everybody see well? And do you have any questions? Oh, really? We are making a Hemingway Hemingway pouch, Jamie. So at this point, what I've done is I've sandwiched 2 fat quarters and added a layer of fusible fleece. And I am giving it a basic quilt. So not super hard, just a basic quilt down. I love this stitch because I can just let it roll. And if it gets like too much to one side, I just kind of turn it a little bit. Because it's a crazy stitch, right? Like, it's wiggly. I would suggest, if you're new to quilting and you've not done a lot of quilting, you might not want to quilt a straight stitch first. Because the straight stitches are not forgiving, like, at all. So just so you know, they are not forgiving. I'm sorry that it is so late, guys. I really am. But I was on for forever today. And so I didn't really have a chance to prep and do this. And I know that I've been telling everyone I'm gonna do this for forever. And so it's like, I don't want to not, you know what I mean? I really do try to follow through. So there is that line of stitching. You can see that with the fusible, we don't have bunching, but bunching can happen. So it's always good to flip it over and just take a look. Make sure it's all good. The other thing is, if you're making a bag for yourself, now if you're making them to sell, I would not suggest doing this. But if you are making a bag for yourself, that inside stitching that's messed up, it's not going to show. You're never going to be able to see it. So if this bag is for me and I don't want to seam rip that seam out, then I'm just going to leave it. Oh, thank you. Oh, good, Margaret. I was not super tired. I slept in a bit today, so I thought I can do this tonight, no problem. This is a Singer C9920. I think Mom and I both sew on this machine, and you can see it's got a lot of bounce, right? But some of that is the table I have it on. I used to sew on this table, and I'm just trying to change my room around. Oh, you have a digital. That's awesome. Mine is just a plain domestic, but I gotta tell you, she's a trooper. Oh, you don't. Your aunt does. Gotcha. Jika, welcome in. We are sewing tonight. Guys, I am also going to sell kits when I'm through with this bag. You have a Bernina? Oh, girl, you got you a bougie machine. I got me a good old Singer. It's what I could afford. This one was what I could afford. Hi, Lexi. We are sewing a bag, doing a live demonstration. I do, it's the Cadillac, or is the Bernina the Caddy? Oh, you have a Janome? Oh, do you like it, Jika? I thought Janomes were pretty great. Oh, I've been doing kits and demos for a while, Julia. I did some zippy bags, and we sold a bunch of kits for those. Gosh, that was what? Almost a year and a half, 2 years ago? Well, it feels like it. It's been at least a year. I have a Janome and a Bernina. Listen, Margaret, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. We can sew beside each other now.
It's just 2 Janomes and a vintage.
Ooh, a vintage Singer. Oh, sorry. I keep hitting the camera, y'all. I apologize. Juki. I have considered getting a Juki that's just a straight stitch only. Like an industrial. Oh, nice, Becky. Is it operational? You use your featherweight? Oh, that's cool. Now, I gotta admit, I like quilting with these various stitches. Oh, okay. Wuzzle, you're so funny. Matt said if you'll thread his needle, he'll sew with you.
Yeah. There's no way I can see that little bitty hole. I sewed in home ec in high school.
Did you really?
Like a pillow and some pajama.
Oh, you did?
Pants.
Did somebody cut it and stuff for you?
I don't remember.
Did you like sewing?
It's okay. I sewed the bottom of my backpack when I was a junior in high school. Fell apart because of my books. I had all my books in it, and the bottom of it fell out, so I sewed it back together.
Like on the machines at school?
Yeah. Because my home ec teacher was my best friend's mom.
Oh, wow.
From junior high at Wiley.
Oh, wow.
So I knew her, and she was like, "You can come fix it in the classroom."
Y'all, I never trim my threads. I think it makes my mom crazy. I never trim my threads. I'm always handing her my piece and being like, "Mom, will you trim this?" She started sewing in her bedroom. I think that's why. She's like, "I'm out of here. This woman, I'm not trimming her threads no more." You made a windsock?
I think it was a windsock.
Like a thing that goes hung up outside?
Is that thing that the airplanes know where to land?
Yeah, I know. Mine says the same thing. I always just trim them once I once I trim my bag out. Sometimes I have to trim them because they're long and they get in the way. I have 2 Baby Lock embroidery machines, the same. Now, Baby Lock is the dream, right? I hardly ever sew with anything other than cotton. I do make scrunchies, which are typically made of like a stretch, like a bullet stretch. But I can't handle doing other than cotton very much. It drives me crazy. And I don't think I'd ever be an apparel maker. I just don't. The more that I do, Wow. You have got a ton, Pat. Your Kenmore and a Sargent. Is that what it's called? So I'm just taking a quick look. And I'm also making sure that my underneath fabric is still like not bunched up or anything. And I'm just going to move past that selvage because I'm going to sew past that anyway when I do the bag. Serger. Okay. So I didn't have a serger for forever. And then Sean and Amy from Spill the Tea, they gave me a serger. Like they sent it to me from Ohio. I was just floored. Now I love my serger. Well, I have a walking foot, but I hate using it. It's like clunky and it makes all kinds of noise. Listen, I am the most get around-ish thing. Like I just do not. I do every. I push this machine to its limits.
I think that comes from being married to me.
I do. I just push it to its limit. I know that I do it, and I probably shouldn't, but. Oh, that's cool, Jay Wildman. Mine is like, I don't know. I like it, but it is what it is. Okay, so we've got these in, and while we chat, Matt, you can go back around there. While we chat, I'm going to pull that seam, guys, because this is a bag that I will probably sell. So I'm just going to pull this stitch out right quick because I screwed it up. So get happy with your seam ripper. And the good thing is when you do a decorative stitch, it's super easy to pull it, or it is for me. Well, of course I said super easy, and now it's going to take me forever. I hope y'all aren't in a hurry. Sometimes they get messed up. You have a serger, but it's too hard to thread. Sean told me, he's like, now, Larissa, sergers are kind of difficult to thread. And he's like, I can help you if you need me to, but here's a YouTube video. I just went and watched the video and threaded it. I didn't find it that difficult. Hey, Quilting Mama, I'm taking out a mistake, but I'm making a bag. Oh, leave it to me, guys, to mess something up. Leave it to me. But hey, if I didn't mess something up, I think Wuzzle has an embroider machine for sale because I had talked about buying it from him, but gosh, I can't ever save up enough money. I buy too much fabric is the problem. A Jazzy? I've never heard of them. Are they good? I've always kind of low-key wanted a Baby Lock. Like, that's my big dream. Because I think they're, like, gold standard for me. But I really love my Singer, and it works kind of amazingly. So it's like, why get rid of something that works, right? See those pretty bags y'all buy from me sometimes, guys? This is how they look for a few minutes. I know. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I love to sew and I love doing this, but if you can afford an $800 machine, then me and you are probably not the same type people right now. Mine was $400 and it was a struggle. But it's like, do you want to sew? Because you're going to need a machine. So it's kind of like one of those things. I do always pull my decorative stitch from underneath, because if it is going to make a spot on my fabric, I want it to do it from the bottom and not on the top, if that makes sense to anyone. Just as a little helpful hint. So I've only pulled it up to the point that it was messing up. And then I keep a handy dandy set of tweezers in my sewing machine.
I wouldn't guess what they look like.
Well, they're glittery and they're turquoise.
They have glitter on them.
Everything should have glitter. Glitter is life. So I'm just going to pull as much as I can on this side. I can't believe I have to show y'all my mistake. I'm so embarrassed. Hopefully y'all don't hold it against me and you'll still buy my bags.
It wouldn't be broken by design if it wasn't broken, son.
I know. Right, bling bling. Becky knows.
Our house is kind of like going to the beach. You have like sand in places you know have places, you know.
Well, it's thread. That's what we have. And I'll show you why in a minute, because I'm fixing to just shake this out on the floor. Hashtag doing alive. I haven't gotten enough followers on my YouTube to be able to do lives there yet, guys. But if I did have enough, so if you're not following Broken by Design on YouTube, here's my plug. Go follow me. Because if I had enough followers on there, I would do lives over there more often. I feel like Whatnot kind of wants you to sell something.
Yeah. You have to run at least one item to be on.
Yeah, I think so. Or you're supposed to. Like, that's their general rule. Can't believe I messed this up. This is crazy. Your threads go flying everywhere. That's awesome. Let me turn that fan off. I'm hot because I'm embarrassed about this mistake.
It's a mistake. You don't make them.
It's a mess, man.
Not perfect, just forgiven.
How does Mom always get these out so pretty? Mama does a good job getting this stuff out. Me, not so much. I'm missing chat, so if you say something to me and I don't see it, tap it again. Because I'm pulling threads out of this fabric over here. Believe it or not, it's not like making anything happen to the fabric, which is great. So hold on, guys. Let me dust off those threads. All right. Nice. So I've pulled off the bottom part of that stitch that was kind of jacked up. And I'm just going to go back over this one little line real quick. You don't have to come over here for this. Let it charge for a minute. I'm just going to start where it started messing up. So give me just a second. Shake it off. Exactly. Shake it off. Shake it off. Hi, Bailey Bones. Welcome in. Okay. Just like that, ta-da, it's fixed. See? Just like that. We got a few extra threads, but they'll come out in the process, so it'll work.
That one's attached.
All right. So now we're quilted. I am going to trim some of these because they're in the middle. Coldie's Corner. Welcome. Oh, that's cool. It like brings up my whole chat. That's really awesome. Okay. So, I'm just going to trim some of these threads. Do my mother proud here. Some of them are like super long. So once you have the quilt to your desired quilt, for the reasons of demonstration and not taking a million years, I'm not going to quilt this the opposite way, okay? But I will tell you this. If you wanted a full quilt on this bag, you could certainly flip the tape, which I'll show you as I take it off, how you would do it. One more second, guys. Okay. Edges trimmed, guys. Rest easy. Oh, almost. Yeah, I forgot a bunch. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's no big deal. Okay. So, it is painter's tape from Walmart. It doesn't leave residue on the fabric, and it sticks and it moves easy, and it you can get a couple sticks out of it before you have to throw it away. So if I were going to quilt it this way, can they see when I touch the fabric? Is that? Mm-hmm. Okay. If I were going to quilt it this way, then I would pull all my tape off one by one, stick it to the side of my table, and when I was done, I would come back and do it like this way. Does that make sense? Hi, Quilted Moose. Oh, you do? That's awesome. I'm pretty wasteful. Yeah, it's my favorite method. I'll be really transparent and tell you that I like using the tape. I don't like measuring. Oh, I hate measuring, y'all. I hate it. I'm not a precision sewer, seamstress, whatever. I'm just not. But I end up doing some really cool stuff. So,
she's artistic.
Here we go. Now we have this gorgeous quilt, right? Pretty. Look at that. Oh, that bobbin matched perfect. I know it is. I'm sorry. I'm wasteful. So, most important thing about your fabric for this bag is that what? One side is longer than the other. Okay? Got to be a rectangle, not a square. If you start with a square, you're going to have issues. It's not going to look right. Okay? So, because we have started with one side longer, because this is 2 fat quarters. This is 2 pieces, 18 by 20. And an amazing piece, by the way. Miss Papadakis from Free Spirit. I love this print. I think it's gorgeous. So, when I get ready to do mine, I think that they're on the official videos. They tell you you can measure down so much on your piece of fabric. I'll be really honest, I don't measure it. I use my handy dandy tape, okay? And I start up there in that corner. And then I move. Can you go up a little above so they can see me moving? Mm-hmm. So I start up here in the corner, and I know that's going to stay there. And then I'm just going to decide, well, kind of what looks like a good diagonal. Well, that looks about good to me, okay? So I'm going to guesstimate and do it about to there. I know this is not precision. So I went from corner here down to this side, okay? You could make this mark any way you want. You could use one side. The important thing is that the long side of your material is at the top and bottom, not left and right, okay? Short sides on left and right, long sides on top and bottom. I make my line across, and then I do the crazy unthinkable. I cut it. The next step is to cut this line. I use that tape just so that I keep my line straight. That's the only purpose. So we have quilted a sandwich. We have laid our tape in a diagonal line, and we just cut it. Okay? So now we have 2 pieces. Everybody still with me? Anybody need me to stop and go back? I mean, I can't uncut the fabric. Turns out I'm not bewitched. All right. This one's going away. I know, Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Hey, Storage Rat. What's up? I'm doing a demo. Showing them how to sew a bag. Cut a diagonal. I now have 2 pieces. These 2 pieces are going to become my 3-piece set that you see us selling. So, show it all again. What do you need me to show again? Sure you could. Sure you could. Somebody would come watch a welding show, I bet.
I could. I don't know how to weld.
My husband will come watch it. He doesn't know how to weld. So there you go. First customer right there. He's coming to watch it. So I've cut a diagonal from the top corner down to the side. This length over here on this side can be whatever length you want it to be. Can everybody see okay? Hopefully, yes. Okay. Next step is we need a binding, or we're going to put in, because this is an open edge, huh?
Johnson, I'll see a welding show too.
We'll tag you in. I am very much a fan of doing, sorry guys, I got to move some fabric here. Very much a fan of using striped fabric for binding, but I think that would be, it would contrast too much here. So I'm going to look for a different. Give me just a second because I have a container. I'm just going to get it.
The only thing I really know about welding is that you get to wear a cool helmet.
I don't think that's super accurate, but okay. So I'm going to use a purple. Yeah. Let me show you this is another little secret. I don't know that it's a secret. Y'all probably all do this. This is just something I decided to start doing because, again, I'm all about the shortcuts, right?
Well, it is fire.
So I like to use jelly roll strips to bind. So I'm going to reach in here because this is my little strip container and grab a couple that are purple that I can lay on here and see what I like. Oh, that's a cool one. That might look good. We'll take a look and see which one we think is best. I think I already used the purples. Yeah, stripes, I did. Okay, so we'll do these. Stop it, Wuzzle.
No comment.
Matt would just turn the live off, okay? So I've picked out 3, and we're going to take a look at them and see which one we think we want to use. And we may use one or both on different ones. So let's take a look at these against this fabric. I love this because it's kind of got that ticking look. And this brings in my little stripe thing that I love. But I think these polka dots, yeah, I think these polka dots are the best. I really do. I believe the polka dots work the best. So we're going to lay these other 2 to the side. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this end here on the jelly roll strip so that the selvage is gone. Yes, I agree. Yeah. And it looks so cool against the inside, which you're not going to see it, but still. So we're going to take the top piece. We're just going to lay it aside for now. This is how I do binding. This does not mean it is the only way or the right way. But the way that I do it is I lay it down on here just like so. And now I'm going to run a stitch right down this, okay? And then we'll be back. So stay with me. Just going to run a straight stitch down this. It's not super crazy important. I don't think. It is important not to stretch your jelly roll strip, because y'all know jelly rolls will stretch and you don't want to do that. So I'm just going to run a straight stitch right down this fabric. Now I am back stitching at the end because I'm going to fold it over and cut it right here because I only need that much of it. So I am going to fold this over and give it a snip. And since I'm going to do that, I do back stitch it. Okay. So now we have it attached, right side facing down. It's attached to the front. Does that make sense to anyone? I mean, to everyone. Does anyone have a question? Okay. So, next thing I'm going to do is grab my zippers. We're going to pick a zipper now. I think we're going to use this lavender. I think it looks right. It's pretty. It looks good. I might have a darker purple pull, or I might just use a lavender pull. Or a white. No. Yeah, I'm going to go with lavender. Okay. Now, we are going to need two, because we've got this piece over here to do as well, right? So this is a number 5 zipper, number 5 zipper head. Simple as that. I buy them in bulk on Amazon. I don't have a link. They don't sponsor me. No one sponsors me. Matt sponsors me.
Yeah. I'm more of an enabler than a sponsor.
So one really important thing I feel like is that you bring your zipper out a little longer than this length. Oh, Amazon, girl. I buy them in bulk. I buy zipper tape. Some people don't like buying zipper tape because they have to put the zipper head on. It's broken by design. Broken by design. So I'm going to go, and if you'll, let me bring this up. Oh, I might can do it. Here is the edge of our fabric right here. Can y'all see that? So I'm going to bring that zipper out probably a 1/2 inch or so, maybe 1 inch over the edge. And you'll see why when we start to sew that zipper down. Okay. The fun part of a Hemingway bag is that you only need one side of the zipper. How cool is that? You do not have to use both sides of your zipper tape. So, first things first, I'm going to set my zipper pulls aside, and I'm going to pull this zipper apart. Zipper tape pulled apart, I'm going to sit this to the side. Now, we have this binding attached here to the edge, correct? We're going to pick this up and turn it over to your inside. This is how I do it. Like I said, this does not mean this is how you guys have to do it. You may want to come in close so they can see the edge of what I'm doing. I leave the full length of the jelly roll strip. You could certainly trim this down if you didn't want to fold and do this. I'm not super precise, again, because we know what? I'm just not precise like that. It's not how I roll. I'm going to fold it over, just nice and fold it over. And I'm going to start securing it with some quilt clips. Okay? Simple as that. Give it a fold and secure it down. There are probably ways of doing this that are much more professional, but this is how I do it. Okay, now that I'm here at the edge, I'm going to put another clip, and I'm probably going to put a couple more here. Just because when I put my zipper on in a second, it gets kind of... So here's what it looks like.
You have a new subscriber.
Here's what it looks like. That's the front side. I'm just going to lay it down right here for a minute. And we're going to talk about this zipper tape. My zippers are, like I said, basic number 5 zippers that are bought from Amazon. This part's very important and very easy to get wrong. So, make sure... Yay! Thank you. Oh. Back up, Terry. Back up. Thank you, basket. The side of your tape with your teeth facing up. Normally we put our zippers on like this, guys, right? And we roll them over. We're going to do this one face up, okay? It's going to attach, and I don't like sewing this twice, so I attach it at the same time I sew down my binding. If this is difficult, sew this down, have a finished edge, and then put your zipper on. Not a big deal. I just don't like sewing it twice. So, we're just going to move our clip to include our zipper. Does that make sense to everybody? All we did was pull our clip off, place our zipper there, and put our clip back on. We're going to do that all the way down. Do you remember how, no problem, Basket. Do you remember how we left a little extra on the end? I already messed up because I got to tell y'all to do this. You need to make sure you leave your extra at the top. Okay? Leave your extra up here at the top. So all I did was just move that and put that back, okay? Because I almost forgot that step. So it's got a little bit more up here, right? Y'all are all going to go nuts because I don't use a zipper foot either. I do these the least amount of hassle possible. Okay, so here's what it looks like when you get it on. This is the front.
This is like behind
the back.
Scenes with Broken by Design.
Does that make sense, guys? Everybody still with me? I'm going to get a drink and we're going to take a question. Anybody got a question? Stay humble. Hustle hard. Broken by Design. That tumbler is so old. I really need to get a new one. Okay, we're going back to the sewing machine. So you're coming over to watch this part. So they can all go, oh my God, she doesn't use a zipper foot. Don't forget to unplug.
Oh.
Hey, Beach Cove, doing a tutorial.
And we're off.
Okay, here we go. Matt's coming back around. So, I'm going to place this under the machine, top side up. I'm leaving on this foot because I like that foot. It works. And I'm just going to drop my foot down. I'm going to use a straight stitch. The basic of this is get the zipper attached. Oh, praise God. Gospel, guys. Quilted Moose is preaching. Give her an amen. So I'm going to pull my clips off as I go. Be careful that you don't pull your zipper out. Okay? And we're just sewing right along the edge. I can't give you a seam allowance because I've never used one. I'm not anyway, doesn't matter. We're just going to give the zipper a little tug. Did y'all see how I just tugged it right here? We tugged it because there's extra up there, remember? I'm going to go down to the bottom, give it another little tug. And we're just sewing it down. Okay. Now, let me show you. Are you sewing close to the edge? I'm going to show you. Look right here, see? There's that much room. So, not really, no. But I am going to do a little thing here. I'm going to see how the zipper is right there. I don't like it to be real fluffy back here. So what I do is I'll go in and put another stitch, but I'm going to change my stitch length to longer. Okay? Simply because I don't want it to look bad, but I want to put another row of stitch there so that it holds the zipper down in the back. So Trisha, does that answer? I'm sorry I'm not more precise. Okay.
Awesome.
So I'm moving my stitch length up. Just beware, it goes a lot faster when you do that. So, purpose of that was just to catch the back side of the zipper and lay it down. And that's why I leave that whole jelly roll strip, because it makes it kind of good looking in the back, I feel like. I don't know.
Okay.
So then your front has 2 stitches. They're not perfect. This is why I don't straight stitch quilt, because look, wonky donkey. So, looks better to me. Yeah, I like it like that too. Okay, so we're going to go back and I'm going to show you how we create our bag. So we're going back over here. Who knows?
Digging in my pocket.
Okay. Back to the lab. So this is kind of the tricky part, and I'm sure it's going to be like super hard because, you know, I'm on camera. So this one-sided zipper is just for decorative. Nope, it closes the bag. It's about to get interesting, Julia. It's about to get interesting. Or the way that I've learned to make them. All right. Once you have your zipper back, okay? Right. You turn your bag over, okay? You fold this side down and make the corners meet. Do y'all see that? See how that worked right there? Mm-hmm. Then I orient this side to me. I'm having way too much fun tonight, guys. Once I've done that, I'm going to pull this down so you guys can see. Can they see this?
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Okay. Hi, Cindy Stitches. So then we're going to take this side and we're going to bring it just like this. Hemingway pouch. See how we brought it to right here? We've just folded that top side down. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody need me to show it again before I put a zipper head on? Because I ain't taking it off. Anybody want me to show that part again? Oh, I didn't come up with this. Somebody did on YouTube. I just followed a video. I did make one in an hour, though, before I went to work one morning. So when I put my zipper heads on, I just thread it going forward because it works for me. There is no... I saved a zipper. You're right, because I have a whole other bag, and I'll show you that in just a second. So there's no right or wrong way to get a zipper head on. Do what you got to do. Call the Lord. Sprinkle holy water. Whatever it is you need to do, because sometimes it's hard, right? So I got my zipper on. I'm just going to take it all the way down to the edge. So essentially, your bag is going to look like this when it's done, except with a closed edge, right? Oh. So you got to turn it inside out because you're going to sew the inside. So I pull my zipper down a little bit and you grab a hold of it, guys, when you turn the bag. Otherwise, you're going to pull your zipper head off and you're going to be really ticked off and have to start all over. Okay. So flip your bag, flip the corner out, and you're going, wait a minute, what happened? Can they see the whole thing? Wait a minute, what happened? Where's my bag? Trick to your bag. What do you got to do? You got to put your corners back together, right? Put your corners back together. And then, ta-da! Now, you can bind the insides. I do not. I don't think there's any point. Okay? I'll just be straight up. Nobody sees them unless you turn this bag inside out and be like, look at the inside of this bag. And who does that? No one. These are not reversible. This is not something you're going to use on both sides. So to me, it's not that important to bind the inside edges. The next step is super easy. All you're going to do is you're going to make sure that your bag lines up how you want it. And you're going to sew down this edge, back stitch here, sew down this edge. Okay? Which I will show you that. That is not a problem. The one thing I will say is, remember how I was telling you guys that the lady I bought these fat quarters from, that she docked the edges, the corners? What I want to do is I want to make sure that my bag, the fabric inside, is fabric to fabric. I don't want, when I flip it, to see this white selvage, which you can cut off, but I didn't, because I'm all about saving time, right? So you're just going to kind of work this around, make sure you get it to where you want it to be. My suggestion is the first couple of these that you make, that you use some clips. I don't use clips every single time, but secure at least the corner with a clip, okay, before you go back to the machine, which we're going back to the machine. I'm looking at Matt like, sorry, you have to get up again.
It's my day off.
God. You don't have days off.
No, I really don't.
We do what not on days off, honey?
I know.
We have 2 jobs.
And then I bowl on my extra time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So once your bag is together like so, I'm going to feel right here because I can feel my interfacing. And I'm going to sit my entire foot on the interface. Does that make sense, guys? I want it to be on the interfacing. So where I'm stitching, the entire foot is on it as we come down to the corner. Go, back stitch, and then straight across the bottom. I'm going to release that clip, back stitch in that corner. I do it a couple times. And then I'm going to decide, because those docked corners, I'm going to take off quite a bit of this bag. But that's just how it's going to work, because those docked corners, we want it to meet. Now, I'm going to stick a finger in here and just kind of give it a nice tug. Raise this foot up. Just straighten that out a little. Now, as we get close to this edge of that jelly roll, I'm going to make sure it goes under the foot laying down. We're about to come across our zipper. This is not a problem. Go over it, back up, go over it, back up, go over it, back up. Terry, back up. One more time. And then go to the edge. Back stitch your edge. Raise your needle, pull it out. Boom. Your needle. Now we're going to go cut this. Stop it. Don't make fun of me. It's not. Poor Singer. I know, it's terrible. I'm terrible to it, but it loves me. It does everything I ask it to.
You just have to call it sweet nothing sometimes.
All right. Cut your corner at an angle on that edge so that you get your threads. Less work. Y'all had no idea that I'm so wonky with my stuff, did you? And then you're just trimming this off, guys. You could pink the edges if you wanted it to be super amazing inside, but I'll be really honest. Nobody sees this. Nobody takes their bag apart. These scissors are awful. Hold on, let me get my other ones. Good gravy. Those were really bad. So I just get close to my stitch line. Don't cut your stitch line. Chop your corner off so that when you turn it, oh, good. I'm glad you're entertained at the very least. Are you not entertained? Isn't that what they say? This is me all the time, y'all. Matt puts up with so much.
Yeah, y'all think we're just funny on video. We're like this all the time.
We're like, this is normal life. So all this, guys, you can probably make a whole quilt out of it. We're going to throw it away because we're wasteful people, as Elizabeth has already pointed out once tonight. You're going to open your zipper, go inside, and hope to God none of your seams are showing. Sometimes you have to push this right back outside. You're just going to turn your bag at this point. Oh, my mercy.
Oh, crap. I got to start all over again.
So put your fingers in the edges. You can use a stiletto. If you have a stiletto made by your great friend Elizabeth, you could use this if you needed to. I just use my fingers. So I just turn it out, you know, like any other quilted project. Sometimes you'll see that your stitching needs to be in a little closer on one side because it's just not sitting well. But really and truly, guys, this right here is kind of it, man.
Wasteful, not using the tool. What are we going for here?
Whoa! Well, Elizabeth, what we're going for is making sure people know that Jesus loves them. That's what I'm going for. The tool that I have is a stiletto. This stiletto was made by Elizabeth, SCH. You can follow her channel and possibly purchase one of these from her. I also know that Wise Old Bag Lady makes these too. So congratulations, you've now been informed. Be sure and get you one. Okay, now that we have paid our sponsors.
They also double as a really good ice pick as well.
No, they don't. The devil's a lie. You better not have ever used my stiletto for an ice pick. So this is what our full-size bag looks like, okay? Now remember, we still have this whole piece right here, right, guys? So we're going to follow those same exact steps, and we're going to make this into a bag. I'll be real honest, you can do this one of two ways. You can create one that's large by doing it like this and having it like a pencil pouch size. Can y'all see that?
That lady the other night we were watching did it like that.
So you can do this and make it like a pencil pouch size, or you can do it just like this, make it just like your other bag, cut this off right here, and this is your Aldi quarter keeper right there. That's how you make that tiny Aldi quarter keeper, is with what's left. So it's super easy. These bags are simple, okay? Super-de-duper simple. You can put your iPad in them. You can carry paperwork, sheet music. This can go in a kid's backpack. I personally just think they're pretty. You could put your books in them. That's a good one. I gotta get Colleen Hoover to like sign a book for me so I can give it away on here.
There you go.
So this is what this one looks like. It will be a complete set of 3 bags. Does everyone understand how we get to 3 bags? Or do I need to do a whole nother like this one to get us there? Does everybody understand how we get to 3 at this point? Or do y'all want to see this all done? You don't understand? Okay. Oh, it's okay. I can just, it won't take 2 seconds to do this one. I tell you what, I do have a completed set right down there, don't I? Yeah, the Boundless is down there. Will you grab that bottom green one? Let me show you the completed set so you'll understand. Well, here's 3. Let me show you. This will explain it to you, honey. So here's the second one. We're going to cut this off right here. That's bag number 2. And there's bag number 3. Does that make sense? Now we have 3. All 3 out of 2 fat quarters. 2 fat quarters and some zipper. So this right here will be a 3-piece set that I normally sell for $25 on my channel. I have been running them at a discount for $15 lately. So sometimes we do them for $15. The other thing I'm going to do is sell a $20 kit that you will be able to make these 3 bags out of. So in your kit, this one I decorated. So, oh, the little bag's not in it. Oh, you took them out. So this one I made a couple days ago, and I actually decorated this and added some honeycomb satin under the binding just because I thought it would be pretty before I sewed it. Does that make sense? Like before I zipped it and everything. This was the second bag in this series, and this is your Aldi quarter keeper of this series. So these are all Figo fabrics, and they have bees inside. So this set, if anybody's interested in this set, I'll run it tonight for $15 because, you know, it's a good set, but for $15. So this set, key keeper, you're right. Your key would fit great in there. If you have a key like to your safe or something that you need to keep put away, that's a good one. So that's how that works. Now, I do have kits loaded. I plan to sell the kits for $20. Here's what that means. We will go through fabrics that I have on the table. And if you guys want to purchase a kit, I will run it for you for $20. I'll include your zipper, your 2 fat quarters, your piece of bias binding, and your zipper head. All you'll have to provide is your interfacing of choice, whether you want to use fusible fleece or whatever. But that's a 3-bag kit. So if anyone is interested in that, I need to know because I want to show you the fabrics and let you purchase a kit, which they'll go mailed out tomorrow morning with everything else. But that's up to you guys. If no one's interested in a kit, that's fine. We'll end it or whatever. I'll run this set because it's here and that can be the thing I run. Let me unhook there and I'm going to flip it over here. Woo! Look. I feel normal again because I'm behind the camera now. Yes, the small one could be. This one I did quilt both directions. Yeah. So see, Hooligan wants to pick out a kit. I'm going to run this bee bag just real quick, and then we're going to move on to picking it out. So it says the one I made on live, but obviously it's not. So this is the bee one because I don't have the one I made finished. So if anybody wants that set, it's available and it's running. I'm just going to move my iron board. Oh, Margaret, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're so kind. You always support my craft. I just love you, friend. And that bag is stunner, okay? That kit is stunner. Let me put my iron up, guys. Guys, if y'all need a suggestion on an iron and you can't afford an whatchamacallit, the one that goes this is a really good one, and I got it at Goodwill, and it's amazing. Like it is amazing. So if you need an iron, I think it's called a Sunbeam or something.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah, it has a retractable. Good enough. It has a retractable cord. This one is? I didn't even know that. Elizabeth, what would I do without you, cousin? I have no idea. Oh my God. I told you I bought it at Goodwill, right?
It was in one of those sections where all the stuff's just piled on the cabinet. You just pick it up and use it.
Wait, they have an iron that's a palm? What? Okay. See, Hooligan, we're fixing to look at some fabrics, my love. All right. So, let me show you what I got. And guys, I have these all kind of on the fly. Here's the good thing about buying a kit. With a kit, I'm willing to sell you a kit that has some good fabric, like Cave, right? Okay. You want that one? Okay. I picked that out because it was like masculine. So, here is an option. First option is this one. Hi, Amy. How are you? I have this Purta fabric. Now, it's not a full fat quarter, so it wouldn't be the exact same size as my bag, but it would still make a decent size one. So there's this. I have this cave that I'm willing to cut a quarter out of for a kit. This gorgeousness. Okay. And then we'll find a coordinator. I'm willing to cut two quarters out of this. So a half yard out of this to do a kit. This is also a cave facet. I have this really pretty bee print. Look at this. So adorbs, right? I also have these ankras that I got from Femi. They're really pretty. I think they would make a really cool one. So this is an option. Here's another ankra. Look at this, y'all.
That's fantastic.
Where has Femi been? I don't know. This is real pretty. So I have this. I have a duck cloth that's like cow. And Cara, is that how I'm supposed to say it? Sorry. I don't know all the right ways to say stuff. I have two of the little colorful lambs. Hey, Spill, remember these? Again, these would make the same, it would not make the exact same size. It's not a full quarter. These are all going to become Hemingways. Those came from Spill the Tea. So these are more inside. That one's got a cutout. Look at this Beth Ambrusky. Hey, Fur Daddy, how are ya? I just did a tutorial. So this is a Beth Ambrusky. Hey, if she wants to learn, I'll teach her. This is gorgeous. It's very orange, though. It's not coming through as orange as it is. That's so weird. I don't know where the white went. That's okay. Also have two of these. I don't know if that's a full quarter. I need to look. No, it's a strip. I could make one out of that, but I don't. Yeah, I'm going to teach her. I have this, which is like metallic on black. And then we have a lot of quarters that, oh, that's a Klopman. Y'all, that's an antique Klopman. Look at this cave. Thank you. Klopman here and cave. I can see this is an outside, this is an inside. Wouldn't that be insane? Oh, so awesome. And that's a vintage. You want to do this? Because I'll sell you this as the kit. Let me see what size this cape is so I know for sure you're getting the right. It'll make one. It's just a little larger. So it's 25. This cape is 25, which I'm totally fine with. 25 by 18. So your bag would be a little bigger if you do it out of this. But again, the most important part is that one side is longer than the other. As long as that's in place, CG, it will be fine. Does that make sense? Like it just has to be longer on one side, rectangle, not square. But I think that would be a good kit. But yeah, it does. Your liner needs to match or be close. Yeah. I also have these two. Or the red and blue. Oh, yeah, the Femi fabric. Now, I think that's a cool one. Let me show you, because it's a standard quarter. The Ankara. I'm going to say it correctly. So, if we go with this one, we're going to pick some stuff to go with it. What do you think? And I also have all that Tilda and all that too. So, like, there's all kinds right now. There's just so much. Okay, so we want to do this one for your kit. The Ankara. Am I saying it right now? Okay, let me find an inside. I have fabric everywhere, so just give me a second. Because when I say everywhere, I mean literally everywhere. Bright and beautiful is what we got to go for. Matt, you got to talk to him because I'm digging.
She's digging.
I'm digging. Don't be putting that camera on me. I mean it.
I'm not. I don't even know how. I can't even reach it. On the right side, I can't touch it.
Can't touch this. Let me see, guys. Hold on, because I'm looking. I really should have had one picked out, and I didn't. I'm sorry about that.
This is the Whatnot School of Jan.
Stop it. Me and Miss Jan have some things in common today. What it is when you have a bunch of fabric just kind of everywhere. Yeah, Matt's here. I'm making him stay up late with me. Aren't I such a gentle and loving wife?
That's after my bedtime, like 3 hours ago.
So, are you wild enough to do an animal print on the inside? Because like I am, but some people aren't. Well, there's a darker one over there that I think would look nice. Hand me that one on top. Let me show her. See, if I was doing this bag, I would make this my inside just because it's epically, amazingly contrasting. But we don't have to do that because I have pokies that will go good with this. Stuff everywhere would know. Mac, will you go get my polka dots in there in the shelf? There's some, I know I have bright blue and I know I have some reds. Or pinks, because pinks would work. I also have Yeah, teal or pink for sure. I also have this royal blue that I think would be great if you want a less or understated. I just think it looks nice and it gives a contrast to the blue. I like how it looks together, but again, this has to be the thing that, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like bags are personal to some degree, right? Like, or should be. Well, it's not my bag is the thing. It's going to be CG's bag. And so I'm pulling things for her to see. I actually think I have a black and white pokey that would be perfect. Just a second, guys. I'm still digging. Oh, what about flocked? Flocked black and white. Raised flocked black and white. That would be cool. No. Hey, Aunt Patsy, I just did a tutorial. So, this is how I would do it. I have black and white that I think would look great. Blue and white, which I think would go amazingly. We also have the lesser stated red, which I think the red looks pretty cool. Look at the red. Hold on. Let me pull this out. That red is kind of fire. Because you have this round. Yes, I agree. We found it, my love. We know what we're doing now. Okay, so now we're on to zipper and binding. Whoops. Okay. These two are going. So now we need to get our zip. Our zippity dip. Can y'all tell I was super prepared to do this tonight? Yeah. So you're going to get both sides of the zipper because I'm not going to sell you one side of a zipper. So both sides of the zipper. So we have a couple choices here. We do also have white, which would pop the white. Or we can go dark blue, which will pull that dark blue. Personally, if it were me, because we're doing red, I would go with either of those two, whichever one you think is more appropriate for what you're looking for. Yeah, I think so too. And we can do a white pull. Yeah, we're going to pick the binding for sure. I'd like to use a turquoise in the binding so that you get to pull some of that turquoise. I don't know. That one's not it. Oh, what about this? This is kind of nice. I like that. I think that would be so pretty. Breaking it up a little bit. Well, see, I'll tell you, I'm not a fan of everything has to match, to be totally honest. I like things that some things do and some things don't. I like for them to stand out. But it's totally up to you. We can do whatever you want because it's not mine. You know what I mean? So if we pull the white off, I like it because it pulls this color out and it's not too much of this dark because the dark is already pretty prevalent. And the red is going to be popping, right? So So, okay, that's all. So you're good with that one as bonding then? Y'all, I absolutely adore doing this. This is so fun. Okay, let me pull the zipper and cut it so we can get it back up. Can you give me a small Ziploc? Like one we would use in a jewelry show, maybe. So the other reason why I'm going to send you both sides of the zipper is in case you have any oopses, you have another side of the zipper. Does that make sense? And I need to send you 2 more zipper pulls. Hold on. Yeah, that'll work. You're going to need 2 more zipper pulls because you got 3 bags here in a fat quarter. So let me get you 2 more. So let's look at your kit. You've got the zipper, both sides, because that will do all 3 of your bags because you're just using one side of it. So you've got your zipper. You have 3 pulls for all 3 bags. You have your binding material. That jelly roll strip will do all 3 of your bags without a problem. And then you're going to have this full piece of the Ankara. I hope I'm saying that right. So Ankara. And then you'll have enough of this red to match this. And I'll cut those as soon as we're done. So let me pin it. Pin it. So run it as an auction. There we go. You are running, my love. Oh, I hope you're so excited. Uh-oh, I ran it too short. Hold on. Oh, no, she got it. Cool. You got it from Buy It Now, I guess. That's so weird. It didn't show me anything. Isn't that crazy? Hmm. So did it run on y'all's side? I just need to make sure so I'm not crazy. Okay, I don't see it in sold either, so we're going to do it again here. Hold on. We're going to run it longer than 10 seconds. There we go. Now it's running. Okay, I'm just making sure. There we go. She's good now. She got it. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun, y'all. So much fun. And these are like vintage Cranston pokies. They're so cool. One half has like a line of demarcation, but one doesn't. So you're going to have a lot of pokies left because I'm just going to cut you a ½ yard. Because the price you pay. Oh. Do I have some coloring? How weird. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me get her cut. So what I'm probably going to do over the next few days is I'm going to put together a few kits and then put them in our Buy It Now, or we'll just hop on, me and Mom, and run some kits so that y'all get a chance to buy them if you don't want to go through the picking it out tonight, because I know it takes some time and we've all been on here for forever. Just a second, guys. I'm just cutting her ½ yard. Those scissors need to be thrown away. So, see, Hooligan, let me show you this real quick. You're getting a full ½ yard because even though there's usable on both sides, there is this line of demarcation in this that was factory. So you're getting a full, and this is one of those long ones. Look at that. Right? So you're getting a full ½ yard, but you'll have lots of polka dots. And you can even line your smaller bag with a strip of the polka dots if you so choose, you know? Like, you could totally do that. So all that is coming home to her. So there is your awesome Hemingway kit. So much fun, guys. so much fun. And I think one of the things that I want to just stress, because we've talked about a lot of stuff, and as long as y'all promise y'all won't like think I'm awful, I'm going to flip you. Okay. See, I look terrible and I'm sorry, but this is how I look. So one of the things that I think is super important is to remember that as long as one side of your material is smaller, you can make these in just about any size. And every time you make them, there's almost always a residual amount that will turn into your second or third bag. So if you make a fat quarter and fat quarter, you're going to be able to turn it into 3 bags. But like this piece, we could totally use this piece and make one. And the way that you know how it would be is you create your fold. Let me put you back down. Hold on so you can see this. This is important. This is how you know if your fabric will work. So here's your piece, right? Because I think this piece is stunning, right? So I'm going to grab my top corner over here and I'm going to grab a little bit ways down, right? I'm just going to create that fold that would be our cut. Does that make sense to everybody? So then I'm just going to fold it. And then right here, I can see it would make one. This is the size it would make. This is how it would look. So could you do it? Absolutely. Would it be a little different shaped? Sure it would. You can even go so far as to say, well, we're going to bring it all the way over here so we have enough room for another bag. So you're going to fold it there, and then you're going to fold it down here. And it's going to be squattier, shorter, but still the same bag. Does that make sense, guys? Essentially, the theory of the pattern, if you will, remains the same no matter what size you use, as long as you use a rectangle and not a square. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Because this will at some point be a bag. Because that's what I purchased these fabrics for. And they were sample packs. So that's what I purchased them for. Guys, is anyone else into wanting to look up and get a kit, or do you want me to put some together and then you can grab it out of the buy it now? What are we thinking? If somebody else wants to go through the process of finding one, I'm totally good with that. Just let me know. If not, I'm going to hop off and yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's probably best because I feel like I scramble a little bit when we do it live, but I love doing it. It's so much fun. And I love that you guys came. And I'm super happy. My shows are set to stay on until the cycle that pulls them off. So it should be here for you guys to look at should you decide that you want to go back and rewatch this and make the bag. And I think it should be on my YouTube channel as well. So you should be able to rewatch the show there. Love y'all so much. Don't forget that we love you and Jesus loves you no matter what. And absolutely, thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me. I've appreciated you all so much. And thank you to those who were purchasers. We love you guys and we appreciate you dearly. We will work on getting some kits loaded to the buy it now. And at least you'll know what we're doing, right? You guys, let's see if there's anyone on that we can raid. If not, then we'll go ahead and head out for the night. Let's see. Oh, Spicy Heifer. Spicy Heifer's on. We're going to go see him. You guys have a good night. We appreciate you. Agreed, Jamie. Good night, guys. Love you all.